He thought his secret affair was perfectly hidden, but when his wealthy wife casually slid divorce papers across the dinner table with a smile, his world collapsed, because she had known all along. Before you dive in, don't forget to subscribe for more shocking, twist-filled stories that will leave you speechless. Ryan had always been ambitious, but not in the honest, hard-working way. He was the kind of man who craved shortcuts, someone who measured success not by effort or character but by how much he could take without being caught. When he met Amelia at a charity gala, dazzling in her emerald gown with the kind of poise that turned heads without her even trying, he saw not a woman but an opportunity. Amelia came from old money, the heiress to a vast business empire built over generations, but unlike many heirs, she was not frivolous. She was intelligent, grounded, and fiercely independent, running companies with the kind of ruthless elegance that made men twice her age respect her. Ryan, on the other hand, was drowning in debt, his failed ventures leaving him desperate, but with his charm, good looks, and smooth tongue, he played the role of a romantic admirer flawlessly. Within months of courting her, he convinced Amelia that he was different from the shallow men who only chased her for her fortune. Blinded by love and perhaps craving the affection she had long been denied from others who only saw her as a stepping stone, Amelia married him in an intimate ceremony, ignoring whispers that he was too good to be true. At first, Ryan played the part of a devoted husband convincingly, attending functions at her side, showering her with affection, and posting smiling photos that made the world believe in their fairy tale. But beneath the surface, his greed festered. The lavish cars, designer suits, and penthouse view weren't enough. Soon, he began indulging in affairs, drawn to women who stroked his ego and reminded him he was desirable on his own terms, not just as Amelia's husband. He thought he was clever, renting apartments under fake names, using burner phones, bribing hotel staff to keep quiet. Each betrayal was a thrill, a secret rebellion against the golden cage of Amelia's world, and he grew arrogant, mocking her in conversations with his mistresses, boasting that she was too busy running boardrooms to ever notice what he did in the shadows. But Amelia had not built her empire by being naive. She noticed the subtle changes, the late nights, the sudden cologne that wasn't hers, the unexplained credit card charges. At first, she dismissed them, giving him the benefit of the doubt, but as the signs piled up, her instincts sharpened. Quietly, without ever revealing her suspicions, she hired a private investigator, one of the best in the city, who within weeks returned with a dossier thick enough to crush Ryan's world. Photos of him with different women, receipts of expensive gifts, records of cash withdrawals, even recordings of him speaking disparagingly about her. Amelia did not confront him immediately. Instead, she played the long game. She began transferring assets quietly, restructuring her companies so his name disappeared from every legal tie, making sure when the moment came, he would be left with nothing. She charmed him at dinners, smiled in photographs, and whispered words of love, while in private, she met with lawyers who prepared a divorce case so airtight that Ryan would have no chance of contesting it. For months, she let him dig his own grave, each affair another nail in his coffin, until the night she decided it was time to strike. She invited him to a private dinner at their mansion, the kind they hadn't shared in months, dressing in a silk gown that reminded him of the woman he once pretended to love. The room was lit with candles, the table adorned with his favorite dishes, and Ryan, smug in his double life, thought nothing of it. He poured himself a glass of wine, laughed about meaningless topics, and leaned in to kiss her hand, oblivious to the storm that was about to shatter his world. Halfway through the meal, Amelia slid a leather folder across the table. Ryan chuckled, assuming it was some business contract she wanted his opinion on, but when he opened it, his blood turned to ice. Inside were glossy photographs of him in hotel rooms with women, printouts of text messages dripping with infidelity, bank statements of his secret accounts, and at the very top, a neatly stapled set of divorce papers with her signature already inked. For the first time in years, Ryan was speechless. His fork clattered against the plate as his hand trembled. Amelia's eyes, calm yet piercing, locked onto his, and she whispered, "Did you really think I wouldn't notice?" In that moment, Ryan's world collapsed. He tried to stammer excuses, weaving lies about being set up, but Amelia leaned back with a serene smile, sipping her wine as though she had already moved past him. The next weeks were a nightmare Ryan never anticipated. Amelia's lawyers moved swiftly, freezing his access to joint accounts, repossessing the cars and apartments he flaunted, and dismantling the illusion of wealth he had built around himself. When the court hearings began, the evidence Amelia presented was damning. Witnesses from hotels testified, financial experts traced his siphoning of funds, and his mistresses, once loyal, betrayed him under oath to save themselves. Ryan, once the man who thought he had outsmarted everyone, sat in court humiliated, his reputation shredded. The tabloids devoured the scandal, branding him the conman who tried to cheat the city's most respected businesswoman. His so-called friends vanished, his mistresses blocked his number, and the investors he once boasted to refused to take his calls. By the time the judge finalized the divorce, Ryan was left with nothing but a suitcase of clothes and the crushing weight of his own arrogance. Amelia, on the other hand, walked out of the courthouse radiant, her empire untarnished, her dignity intact, and her future brighter than ever. Ryan tried crawling back, sending desperate letters, begging for forgiveness, but Amelia never responded. He ended up in a shabby apartment, taking odd jobs to survive, haunted by the memory of that dinner when Amelia's calm voice pierced his illusions. His greatest mistake had not been cheating, it had been underestimating the woman who gave him everything. And every night, as he lay on a worn-out mattress, Ryan replayed that moment, the flicker of candlelight on Amelia's composed face, the rustle of divorce papers sliding across the table, and the chilling whisper that marked the end of his golden life. He had thought she didn't notice. He had thought he was clever. But Amelia noticed everything, and when she struck, she left nothing behind but his shattered pride and the ruins of a life built on lies.